Star Wars is one of the biggest multimedia franchises in the world. Over the years, it has seen many games spanning many different genres, until recently. Since deconstruction of LucasArts, the release of Star Wars games has slowed significantly. This is unacceptable. We need more Star Wars games, even if I need to take pitches from 3 scruffy-looking nerf herders. Welcome to Armchair Dev's Star Wars. Welcome to Armchair Dev's Star Wars. I'm your host, Disney executive Bob Video Games, and today I'll be taking pitches from 3 contestants. KZ1 Kenobi from kzexcellent.com.
Not a name I've heard in a long time.
Philo Ren.
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
And Darce Aggro the Wise. All right. As usual, we'll be taking 30-second elevator pitches for each of your games. This week, I will let Phil lead the way.
Star Wars has had a rough decade of games. Subpar multiplayer experiences and mobile titles are all fans have gotten, but what fans truly crave is an immersive single-player experience couched in the mythology of the first 6 movies. In Star Wars Emperor's Rise, play through an as-of-yet unexplored part of Star Wars history, the rise of Emperor Sheev Palpatine.
Okay, Rise of Palpatine. That sounds like an interesting story. We haven't seen that yet. People like darker themes. I'm excited to see what your game holds up for us. KZ, what's your pitch? We got 30 seconds whenever you're ready.
One critical aspect of Star Wars that hasn't been explored enough recently through games is the thrill of flying across planets and star systems on your starfighter. Fans of multiplayer shooters and single-player adventures with your lightsaber have been served, so my pitch is for a mission-based title featuring various starfighters. Take on 2 sprawling story campaigns as either the Rebellion or the Remnants of the Empire in this post-Return of the Jedi story. This is Star Wars Galactic Revolution.
All right, that sounds good. I mean, that's a good structure for things. People like flying starships in Star Wars. It's an important thing to have.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now you're up, Dr. Aggro, whenever you're ready.
The shelling lasted 9 months. The first troop ships started landing right after. The major cities fell in days. I don't even know how many of us are left. Pockets scattered here and there. It's mostly cleanup now. Mercenary groups and bounty hunters rounding us off, picking us off. Now the Republic is playing its trump card and sending in the galaxy's most ruthless murderers. A week ago, we had a transmission from Outpost Kelso before they went dark. It was 3 words. They're here. Jedi.
I'm very excited, but don't really know what's going to happen. This is good.
Was that a CG trailer?
I figured it was appropriate, thematically.
Was this an EA Play press conference?
He announced the name. They just played that. He just gave the pitch to an audience live, and they're like, that was it. That's all you get.
See y'all next year.
Comes back 2 years later.
The same trailer, but now there's visuals.
All right, now I'll be asking each of you questions about your games. Nothing seems insidious yet, but this is where I find out. Mr. Field.
Yes.
What genre would you say your game lands in? Is it some sort of city builder, or is this more of an action game?
Star Wars Emperor's Rise is a action game with social RPG elements. It will primarily be an action game, but there will also be social segments where you have dialogue choices. You can use your Jedi powers, or Sith powers in this case, Sith powers like mind control and the like, to navigate both the public and private life of Sheev Palpatine.
All right. Very exciting. KZ.
Yes.
Will there be any original starfighters for your starfighter game?
Original starfighters?
Yeah, like new designs, new ships.
Now, the focus for this game wasn't necessarily making anything new in terms of new starfighters, but each faction, as there are 2 campaigns in the game, has a variety of ships throughout Star Wars history for each, both unlockable and main ships. That said, I could name some of the ones that will be featured, if you'd like.
I'll allow it.
All right. So, of course, with the Rebels, you got stuff like your X-Wing, your A-Wing, your V-Wing. The ones you would typically expect. Empire, same. We got TIE Fighters, TIE Interceptors, and some of the ones that, we haven't seen as much, like the TIE Hunter. But, of course, there's the unlockable ships, which span things that don't really fit in that era, like the Naboo Starfighter, the T-70 X-Wing that's been used in some of the recent films, and even stuff like Darth Maul's Sith Infiltrator from Episode 1. So there'll be a variety of different ships across all the eras to be able to be used and customized.
All right, that sounds great. I'm sure there's nothing Goosebumps related in this whole pitch.
There is not, I can assure you.
All right. Dr. Aggro.
Mm-hmm.
How cool is your game?
You remember that moment in the Old Republic MMO CG trailer where the ship crashed into the Jedi Temple and you saw that one red lightsaber light up and then like the dozens more light up? It's like that for 20 to 30 hours.
Raw.
Oh shit, he might have won. That was the deepest cut.
I have no idea what that is.
I know what that is, and it is in fact fucking raw.
It's the only good part of that game.
I think about it
That is
constantly.
correct.
All right, time for the second round of questions. KZ, what kind of online elements do you have planned for this game?
Well, you're going through the various missions throughout the game, and we have some small little online things. We didn't want to go too crazy with it because we wanted to focus on narrative, mission-based gameplay. However, you will be able to see various outlines and holograms throughout the mission if you enable them that show how certain ships and certain players ended up dying. And whenever you repeat a mission, you are able to do a bunch of different features like time trials, extra objectives, that kind of thing. There will, of course, be online rankings for this type of thing. So you'll be able to track and see if you can get the best time completing a certain mission or get the most high marks and stuff like that.
Okay, but we're not going to have anything like Starfighter battles.
We are not looking to get anything like that in at the moment, but maybe for some sort of future expansion. We wanted to focus on getting a really tight experience of flying your ship and going through and taking out enemies in a single player experience, because balancing and making something feel good in an online environment is so much more difficult, especially if you've seen how they implemented Battlefront's dogfighting, in which it wasn't good at all.
Look, we don't want to fund another one of those, but we have standards.
Yeah. Yes, standards that are also 10 levels above what that was. That's why this is targeting next gen, of course.
Ah, I see. Dr. Aggro,
What
era of Star Wars is your game set?
Roughly around BBY 500. We're talking Old Republic.
Oh, I didn't know you were a coward. Okay.
Yes! Holy shit!
Damn!
Yes!
So far, we've learned they're here. Aggro's a coward. It may be a game.
I'll let you go ahead and fill me in on what's going on in the Old Republic at this point. Is there any sort of
like
conflict
in general,
we should know?
or?
Yeah. Like what are we? What's the setting here?
Of Star Wars or of my game in particular?
Of your game in particular.
Okay.
That we don't know the name of.
Star Wars, The Scouring of Jubal, is the story of the dwindling population of the planet Jubal post a Republic state-sponsored genocide after they harbored several droid refugees from the Great Droid Uprising.
Okay. Mr. Field,
Yes.
how do you balance work and family?
Like in the game, or
It's up to your own interpretation.
well, Sheev Palpatine has no family as he is the only child of a low-ranking nobility family on Naboo. So most of the game will be presenting as a sort of in his youth as a sort of Bruce Wayne-esque layabout, while privately committing murder as a Sith apprentice for Darth Plagueis.
That guy's pretty wise. I'm excited. All right, we now move on to the part of the show where everyone has to present to me a drawing. And for this one, I've asked for a Star Wars OC that's involved in their game in some way. Dr. Edgar, you're first up.
Yeah, okay.
Oh no.
What is this?
This is HVR9, nicknamed Sparkles. They're a droid that likes singing to invalid children in hospital wards. They're one of the many NPC companions you'll be able to recruit in the Scouring of Jubal. Fun fact, if you leave them unattended at the base, when a Jedi is occupying that hex, they get horribly murdered in the most emotionally manipulative hack writing way possible.
That's really going to move people. Mr. Field, you're up. What do you have for me?
All right.
Oh, damn it.
What?
This is FK-74. He is a droid. This is not his original body. FK-74 is first encountered as a sort of upgraded droidica, the kind that roll into the balls, and serves as the first boss. Once Sheev defeats him, however, he takes his memory chip and implants it in the stupidest droid body possible in order to sort of keep him as a trophy. His design is similar to BB-88, except he's a cube, so it doesn't really work.
So can he move?
Yes, it just goes clonk, 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 clonk with the cube rolling. He is voiced by Christopher Tabori, who is the voice actor for HK-47 from the Knights of the Old Republic franchise, because FK stands for Force Killer, as he was originally a droid designed to defeat Force users. And of course, now he's just Palpatine's useless, stupid asshole trophy.
Great.
He looks so sad.
KZ, you have a lot to follow up here. We have two amazing droids. What do you have?
Now, my game is primarily different because you're spending most of your time in your ship, so I had to add a little bit of texture in their backstory for my art. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. There it is. So, as you're going on this adventure through both factions, for one of the factions, this is your main protagonist. It is you. So as you can see in this, piece of art, that's an X-wing. Inside it is you. At the start of the game, you for the Rebel faction, you get to pick your general look, like your race and everything, and you are the adopted son of Admiral Akbar. Hence the reason he is always watching you.
Oh, it's a trap.
Yeah.
All right.
And yeah, that's the KZ may have designed his game and went, how do I make an OC out of this? I'm in ships.
So what, you're just trying to describe the custom character, I guess? All right.
Yes, of course.
This seems like it only is barely within the rules of this. I guess I have to allow...
yes, your OC is you.
You know what? If nothing else, I can just say that he submitted Admiral Akbar as his OC, and I'll just have to deal with that.
You're going to have to deal with it because my first thought was Death Star number 3.
You should have done that. I'd be excited about that. We have 3 Death Stars? It's even bigger than the last one, right? Tell me it's bigger.
Not gonna lie, I thought I would lose if I just drew a circle and put 3 on it, but I considered it.
All right. That was the point where each of you are going to get a chance to tell me one thing about your game you haven't been able to get out. Let's see. Mr. Field, you go.
Well, Star Wars Emperor's Rise will not solely feature Palpatine in his, elder years. It will also focus on his youth, and because you can't have the actor voice 18-year-old Sheev Palpatine, that'd be ridiculous. Young Palpatine will be voiced by Ben Diskin.
Great to hear.
Oh man, that's great.
KZ, what have you not been able to get off your chest about this star flying game?
All right, so the game opens recreating the climax of Return of the Jedi. You go through that second Death Star run as the Rebels. Once you complete it, you're then given the scope of the game, where you get to choose between the 2 factions, and you get to pick one. And once you pick it, you're locked in, and then you go through their 15 mission campaign. All the missions are pretty much entirely unique as well. So you'll be able to go through each one, missions spanning 20 to 30 minutes, filled with side objectives that you can do. And upon completing it, both stories, seeing the end of your whole cinematic story experience, you get 5 bonus missions that are just these are moments from the movies, and you get bonus missions of that, because we can't ship a Star Wars game like this without including Hoth.
That's true.
Yeah,
just can't happen.
Also Disney is making it so we have to include the Star Killer base, as well as the final battle and the Rise of Skywalker.
I feel a little bad. I was like, what's a Star Killer base?
But of course we'll have the Battle of Coruscant from episode 3's intro.
Okay, good. That was what a banger that was.
you got to take down General Grievous's ship or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, this is totally against the rules. I need to know. I feel like this is just it needs to be stated. KZ, can I use a lightsaber in your game?
No. Without saying it, this is basically expanding and going further.
Nah, you don't need to hear anything else. Dr. Aggro, I feel like you've hardly been able to tell me anything about your game. Please, what's one thing you want to let me know?
Yeah, okay, Bob. The Scouring of Jubal is basically a player-directed, mission-based third-person action game taking place inside of a persistent, naturally evolving world state, run on mission timers, player decision, and permanent NPC life or death environment changes as you pick different missions to either scrounge for resources or assault Republic outposts. Danger levels, wildlife patterns, and even weather is affected by your choices as you attempt to achieve one of the game's various end states.
Okay, so this is essentially like a Bethesda-style RPG when those were good.
I only played them when they were mediocre.
Okay.
No!
I don't know if they ever went beyond that, to be honest, but, I understand the general scope of your game now. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, with all of that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys ask each other questions. First up is going to be Mr. Field.
Aggro.
Mm-hmm.
This game is set in the Old Republic.
Mm-hmm.
Is BioWare making this game?
I believe the expression is over my cold, dead body.
Oh, so you're just ripping their child from their hands?
Yep, just like the Jedi Order.
Ah, okay. Okay, BioWare has become a corpse. Got it. KZ,
Present.
what sort of big, stupid super weapon will be the final mission of one of the stories of your game?
All right, so the final mission as you're playing as the Rebellion, you're taking on the Empire remnants, and they are attempting to make their own giant fuck-off super weapon that happens to what looks to be 3 Star Destroyers tethered together that will combine and make a giant Delta Triangle laser that should hopefully blast through multiple planets. It's their attempt at trying to make what we would later see as like Star Killer in The Force Awakens. And you'll be going through that, trying to take that out alongside fighting some of the last remaining elite Empire like starfighters and pilots. And that will be the Rebels' final big story mission.
Good to know.
All right, Dr. Agro, you can go ahead and ask some questions now.
All right. KZ, excellent. In this Starship Fighter extravaganza, will your starfighters, while doing battle in space, inexplicably move like they're in atmosphere? Or will you break the mold and have them move as if ships shaped like that, with thruster placement as it is, would actually move in a vacuum?
Well, we did decide, and I actually did put this in the notes just in case, there will be a tangible difference between flying around and controlling the game in space compared to being within the game's multiple planets, where you will feel a bit more resistance when you're under a planet, and things are just going to feel a little bit more responsive or a little bit more unwieldy when in space. It's something that you'll have to get used to and slightly adjust depending on which areas you're in. I don't know if that fully answers your question.
No, that was surprisingly, remarkably well thought out. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Feel.
Yes.
So you're creating a game about a single individual hungry for power, subverting a republic in order to establish an empirical tyranny. But is your game going to be political at all?
Well, considering a major corporation will be making it, no, there will be no politics in this game about usurping democracy and replacing it with fascism at all.
That is comforting to know. Thank you.
See, it can't be political because the Empire isn't real.
KZ, it's your turn.
Dr. Agro.
Beep, beep, boop, boop, whistle.
Oh, well, it seems we've jacked in. For your game, will there be a season pass? If so, what is being offered?
No. Stunningly, there isn't really much in the way of DLC for this game. It's designed to be one of those games you can play for 30 hours, or you can play for 800 hours, and people start messaging you, where are you? You haven't been to work lately. What do you mean you're still playing that game? It came out 5 years ago. Please get a life.
Ah, good. It's like the MMO mentality. It's like, you're still going? It's like, yeah. It's like, I'm making an alt. Like, no, you don't need to do that.
I'm going to try mixing these 2 skill trees this run. It's like having a life.
Mr. Feel.
Yes.
When I think of Sheev Palpatine, I think of him doing sick flips, cackling, and shooting lightning. How much of that will be in your game?
Well, early in Palpatine's career, there will be less of that, but our goal by the end of the game, the final boss, by the way, will be the fight against Yoda in Episode 3.
Ooh.
Will be to make you feel like you're playing The Force Unleashed, but good.
Oh, that's a tall order.
So, big sweeping force powers and spinning while shrieking aplenty.
That sounds really exciting, because then it's like playing GoldenEye on the N64 and your final boss is Oddjob, and you just keep missing because he's really small, but still epic on its own.
Great. Now that everyone's been able to talk to each other, get some more information now about their games, it's time for you to get a 30-second closing statement. We will start with Mr. Feel.
Star Wars is one of the most iconic media properties in history. Any idea which does not ruthlessly exploit this for maximum capital gain is pointless. Support Star Wars, Emperor's Rise. It's good to be bad.
Dr. Aggro, whenever you're ready.
Star Wars The Scouring of Jubal is a game about player and personal choice in the face of overwhelming odds with no clear victory in sight. It is a game that really we sort of bolted Star Wars onto at the last minute because we figured out we could sell a game about 3 times as much if the horrible monster in the woods had lightsabers. It's a game about responsibility and cash revenue.
This has been a very enlightening 30 seconds. I respect the hustle. All right. KZ, you are up.
Star Wars Galactic Revolution is a chance for you to feel the next-gen power by traveling through space and on planets, completing missions for the faction of your choice. Completing these missions multiple times, getting various upgrades, shaders to make your ship look like your own custom ship. The rebels can even get a Buick. Play our game. It's cool. That's it. That's all I got.
All right. I'm excited to get a Buick.
Yeah, we had to put in the Buick.
I don't know if we can get that licensing, but we'll work on it. Now I'm going to have to go into deliberations to figure out whose game wins. All right, KZ.
Yes.
Your single-player Starfighter game seems like a shoo-in for a lineup. It just sounds great. We have all sorts of different planets, ships, a single-player narrative. People love those. Online leaderboards. The only thing that I see lacking here is an online multiplayer mode or even a split-screen mode. But it seems like a great idea. I'm really excited about it. Let's see. Moving on. Mr. Feel.
Yes.
Your action RPG sounds really cool, seeing the dark side of the Force in this light. The only thing I'm worried about is that it's going to have some major prequel energy. I worry it might devolve into just remaking those movies that people don't like. But nevertheless, it could go well. If we go far enough, it should probably be fine. Dr. Aggro.
Mm-hmm.
You told me that your game wasn't even supposed to be a Star Wars game. And then you made the bad guys Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of concern with this one. But, it sounds like a great game that just happens to have Jedis stapled into it.
Sounds like a Star Wars game to me.
Luckily, guys, just like I said in the opening, we need more Star Wars games. You all win. I'm making all of them. I have an infinite checkbook here at Disney.
What? Oh, fucking Disney. I'm losing my mind. This is how I win?
Now, the sad part will be when all of them are truncated into one game.
We haven't got to that stage yet. I'll do that in 3 years when none of you can deliver a product.
This is Disney. They want as many singular products thrown out as possible.
Is there a way we can stream it?
Ooh.
All right, thanks for coming out, everybody. This has been Armchair Devs. Check it out later on.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Check out the games. They're not really getting made.
You know, Disney Plus is now available.
I was like, surprise, I blue balled everyone, including the contestants.
God damn it. This episode had such big prequel energy.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Armchair Devs. Podcasts like this and Big Think Dimension are only possible with viewer support. If you'd like to help us in the fight for good content, please show us your support over on patreon.com/gbpodcasts, where you can also listen to the extended pitches that couldn't make it into this episode.
The GigaBoots videos for this holiday season have been brought to you by our generous executive producers, Vincent Pover, Nicholas Cameron, E. Lee Broyles, Star Falcon, Spaceman Spiff, Danny Richardson, Dryzart, Red Blaze 27, and Dandy Cageford. Thank you very much to our incredibly important executive producers. And also these guys. If you want to join the fight for good content, then go support us on patreon.com/GigaBoots to become an executive producer today.